Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Nick Ferguson here, Secondary Perspective. Week 10 in the books. Another exciting week. Week 11 is upon us, so hopefully your team is strategically positioning themselves like chess pieces. I play checkers. I don't know anything about chess. But anyway, hopefully your team is getting it done. Another exciting week. Also, big shout out to the men and women that serve us in the armed forces. Thank you for protecting us and allowing me to sit here and do my show. A big mile high salute. Let's go. Let's get into what's trending. Incognito of the Miami Dolphins has been trending all week. And I have some problems with three of the Miami Dolphin players. Mike Wallace, Philip Willer, and Cameron Wake. Three of which who happen to be African American. Who says that Richie Incognito is a great guy and he's an honorary black man? I don't get it. You're essentially saying that he is freely able to use this word. That we have to know the history of this word. It shouldn't be used by blacks, whites, hip-hop, anyone. It needs to be stricken from the record. Richie Incognito now has become the quintessential face of bullying. But bullying takes place in elementaries, high schools, workplace, and on the football field. It needs to stop. And I'm here to put a stop to end it right now here on this show. Either you're a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution. You have to stand up. You have a choice. If you see something happening, don't be quiet. Walk over there. Handle it. Stand up. It's time. Game recaps. Indianapolis Colts, St. Louis Rams, a Colts team that was on fire just weeks ago, but they beat the Denver Broncos, San Francisco 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks. Three other premier teams in the NFL, but they go down to St. Louis and they get their butts handed to them. 38-8. Tavon Austin's coming out party. I guess he was a little upset about that duck soup that was served up by Stanford maybe a day earlier. Tavon Austin, 138 yards receiving at an additional 172 yards on special teams. The Rams. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans for the second year in a row. The Tennessee Titans has allowed another team to come into their home and pull out a win. What is it with these guys? They keep allowing teams to come in and get that one win. Who knows? Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to close out that game with a Darrelle Revis interception. How fitting! The man with all the money, all the fame, Revis Island, closed things out. Which makes me wonder. I have a friend who happens to be a fan of both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wonder how he celebrated the win. Well, I guess we will never know. Well, earlier today I had a chance to sit down with Fazil Ahmed. He's from Chicago. He's an avid Chicago Bears fan. And after this past weekend's loss to Detroit Lions, I wanted to see what his thoughts were about the future of Chicago Bears. All right, I am sitting here with Fazil Ahmed, one of the producers on the show, Loyal Chicago Bears. When I say loyal, I mean loyal like, Mike Dicker, Brotsworth, that whole thing. Anyway, Fazil's going to tell me exactly. What are your thoughts on the fact of Jay Cutler playing this Sunday after the groin injury?
Well, I think it was a selfish decision on his part to, play without being 100% healthy. I knew he had a feeling he'd get out there, but he just wasn't ready. And, he's in a contract year. It's time for him to prove himself to get that new contract from the Bears. So, might as well take a stab at it and go out there, but it backfired.
But it seemed like being Jay Cutler, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. several years ago criticized for not coming back playing the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. He plays in this game, and still he's criticized. I mean, why is that the case?
I mean, I just think that Jay Cutler's not a very likable guy. Whatever he does, he gets criticized for it. So had it worked out, had he won, nobody would be talking about it. But that's not how it usually goes. So there you go. So
if Josh McCown plays in this game, do the Bears win?
I feel that if he at least subs for Cutler, he comes in, at the end of the first quarter when Cutler, pulled up, then yes, we do, because he proved last week against Green Bay that he at least has what it takes to, do a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know if he could last a whole season, but, at least a couple of games, fill in while Cutler rests, gets ready for the end of the season, and hopefully playoffs.
So now Detroit Lions are in sole possession in first place. Chicago Bears have now lost 2 games. Can they get into the playoffs in the wild card?
I am pessimistically optimistic about that. Yes, because that's, being the nature of a Chicago Bears fan. Yes, we can. Detroit, they have a tendency in the last few years to just flop. So I feel like that is a possibility, and with Aaron Rodgers hurt and the Packers hurt, it's ours to win.
Well, you heard it here from a loyal Chicago Bears fan, pessimistically optimistic about his Chicago Bears. But one thing we can say for sure, the Chicago Cubs won't see a pennant, maybe in no time in the near future. But the Chicago Bears in a 16 race with 2 wild cards could possibly find themselves in a wild card race. I don't believe it, because you have both the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers. So Chicago Bears could find themselves on the outside looking in. You heard it from Fazil Med himself, the breakdown on his Chicago Bears and their potential playoff aspirations. Now, to part of the show that I love the most because it's named after me, Nick's Pick 6. So, kicking it off on Nick's Pick 6, we have a Thursday night game, the Colts and the Tennessee Titans. 2 teams are coming off losses this week. The Colts, no running game, no Reggie Wayne, no protection for Andrew Luck. Tennessee Titans, no Jake Locker. I'm going to give the Titans the edge on this one, especially with the backup quarterback Fitzpatrick, because he has the experience. Titans win. Kansas City, Denver Broncos. Everyone anticipated this rivalry. This might decide who wins the AFC West. Peyton Manning's beat up, sore ankles. Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best defenses in the league, and turn the ball over. Simple recipe for the Denver Broncos. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. Denver Broncos win. Washington and Philly. Here's these 2 teams competing in the NFC East, trying to stay tight and hang with the Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia, bad record at home. Washington Redskins, bad record on the road. So you toss this up in the air and see what sticks. I think the Eagles fly high in this one. They finally get that home win that they wanted so much. Philadelphia Eagles win. New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers boast one of the best defense front sevens in the NFL, playing and hosting Tom Brady and the New England Patriots that are coming off a bye week. Tom Brady in all his splendor and his, oh yes, Tom Brady. New England Patriots win. Tom Brady, once again, with a bunch of nobodies, finds a way to get it done. New England Patriots. There you go. You've heard it. Nick's Pick 6 right here. Book it. Well, that'll do it for another edition of Nick's Secondary Perspective. Don't forget to like, comment, share, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel. We'll meet you back here next week for another fun-filled show full of laughs, full of education. And once again, tell your grandmother at old folks home that Nick Ferguson is the place you want to be. So, come on. Come with me. Yeah, you too. Let's go. All right.